Good afternoon, everybody. I'm your host, Katie, and you're listening to WHIT Radio's The KAKE Show. I'm here today with Mr. Placino, Alessandra, Kevin, and Mr. DePiero. And today we'll be discussing the death penalty. The death sentence, according to Merriam-Webster, is the decision by a court of law that the punishment for someone's crime will be death. The use of the death penalty dates as far back as the 18th century BC. The first instances of the death penalty can be found within the 14th century BC's Hittite Code, the 7th century BC's the Draconian Codes of Athens, as well as the 5th century BC's Roman Law of the 12 Tablets. Methods of execution that were utilized included crucifixion, drowning, beating to death, burning alive, and impalement. In the 10th century AD onward, the death penalty by hanging became popular in Britain. Other forms of execution consisted of boiling, burning at stake, hanging, beheading, and drawing and quartering. Individuals were sentenced to death for reasons such as marrying a Jew, not confessing to a crime, and treason. When the Europeans settled in America, they brought with them the practice of capital punishment. Since then, capital punishment has been a controversial topic. Many people have differing opinions regarding the topic of capital punishment. What are your guys' stance on capital punishment?
Well, I'm against it. I really don't think it deters anything. I brought up with religious beliefs that, told me that only God takes lives, not human beings. But I just look at the statistics here and notice that the states like Texas and other states have the highest crime rate, period. I mean, I think there's over 3 million people in jail in the United States at this time, which is an incredible amount of people. It's almost 10% of our population is now in jail. So I think most deaths happen in the throes of passion or impulsiveness. And I don't think people really think out, well, now I'm going to get the death penalty if I do this. I think it deters maybe a very small fraction of people that actually kill people. But as we were talking before, Katie, the people that plan their murders or plan their thing are really do not believe they'll be caught. So there's probably a lot of murderers out there that have escaped justice because they planned it to be that way. So that's my opinion.
I feel that the government should have no right to kill someone. I think the government is kind of peace for everybody, trying to keep people in order. But I think if putting someone in prison for the rest of life is way more of a punishment than just killing them off, because then they more have to suffer. And I could see it from the people, like if the son of a mother died, I could see why they would want the killer to get killed. But I think it's more of a punishment to see them in jail.
Yeah, I think it is. I think you put the person in jail for the rest of their lives, and that's, I think, a greater punishment than the death penalty. I think a violent killer should never get a probation. Somebody that's gone beyond, maybe an impulsive murderer, possibly, but I don't believe in probation, especially for murder. I really don't. And especially if it's planned out, then I don't believe in probation at all. But I was looking at some of the statistics you handed me, Katie, and the average cost of a death penalty case is $2.4 million. Yeah. That is an incredible amount of money, I think it costs around $50,000 a year to imprison a person. So, that's expensive also. But it says there's about 35 states that have the death penalty. New Jersey is not one of them. So most of the southern states have them. Okay, and I think the time has passed. I think, you brought up the history of the death penalty, and it goes all the way back to really Rome, way back, and I think hopefully we've progressed that we don't have to do that. But that being said, over 65% of the people in the United States still favor it, so according to statistics. So
It actually costs 1.25 around that $1 million more to execute someone than trying a comparable murder case, which would result in prison without parole. Without parole. So millions of dollars are spent on this because of the judicial process for capital cases, capital trials, enhanced security, and all of the different processes that have to go to doing this. And to be completely honest, the system is flawed anyway. We're trying to implement the death penalty in order to create justice for families of people who have been murdered and different things like that. But when it comes down to it, you end up with a lot of people who have been killed who haven't done anything. There have actually been 138 exonerations since, I think, 1977. And that's incredible. You've killed 138 people. The government has.
Oh, this is people they found out later.
Yeah, after they had already been killed. I think it was around 160 they proved before they were killed.
Wow.
Since 1977, but still, that's still a huge amount of people that have been. We thought that they were going to be killed when they didn't do anything, and it's crazy.
I agree. I mean, let me pose the question to both of you. The United States, by far, is the most crime and murder capital of the world. More murders happen here than in any other, even third world countries. Percentage-wise, we may be right at the top, if not the top. And I know I have some relatives up in Canada, and they said one of the reasons they don't go to the United States that much because it's too violent. And they read all the stories and all the violence that happens in here. Why do you think that is? Why is our country, who around the world, I guess we're the flagship country, everybody wants to come here, we're the land of opportunity, the land of economic prosperity, the good life, freedom. Everybody wants to be a United States citizen, or used to be. But why is it so violent? Why is this country of ours the murder capital of the world?
I'm actually shocked that we're the number one. I wouldn't think that we were the number one, but there has to be a connection between the government's rules and our actions if they're maybe being too strict and people are trying to go against them or something. I don't really know, though. I'm kind of shocked we're the number one.
Well, I think that everywhere people have adopted this sense of trying to be more superior than one another, and I think for some reason in the United States, we have a powerful army and military and things like that, and that really exasperates and stresses violence in our country. But you can't really say that's just here. It's everywhere. But
well, we have someone new here, our senior broadcasting major, Michael DePinto.
Hello.
And we want to welcome him in, if that's all right with you, Katie.
Thank you.
I just want to make one point before we get into the conversation. When a country has more guns out there than people, that's a problem.
Yeah,
that's true. A big problem. So, Michael, you want to weigh in on this at
all?
Well,
fill me in. What's going on?
We're talking about the death penalty, and Katie's bringing up statistics about the death penalty and how it really doesn't have an impact on crime.
No, it doesn't. I'm absolutely against the death penalty. I think it's barbaric. It's also costly, too. A lot of people think that keeping a person in prison for life is the costlier of the two options. but between the appeals and everything that go into holding someone on death row, it actually becomes more costly.
Yeah, and as she was saying, it's $2.4 million to try a death penalty
Yes,
case.
that's what I'm saying.
It's
Yeah.
very, very, very expensive.
And they don't always work. Like lethal injections, like the one in
Oh,
Oklahoma
yeah,
a
right.
couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
There was a whole botch in the whole
Right.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
That really was a botched
Okay.
attempt that was over 40 minutes before the guy died.
Yeah.
And that's inhumane. I mean, no matter what he did, that's inhumane. And we're just a violent country. There's no way around that. We're a crime country. We have 3 million people incarcerated at
Yeah.
this point.
Yes, we do.
Something's wrong. There's something inherently wrong here, and I can't put my finger on it. I do not know what it is. But
No, but I've noticed it too. Between the mass shootings and things like that, there has been a pattern, and I can't figure out what
Yeah.
it is either.
I don't know. Anybody? Anybody?
Well, that's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Anybody would call in 201-854-8224 if you have an opinion or an idea or suggestion. This country's way too violent. Chicago, believe it or not, is the most violent city in the United States. South Chicago.
Yes.
More murders happen there percentage-wise per capita than anywhere in the United States. Texas has more people in prison.
Oh, and I believe we
Someone's
are
found it?
getting a call.
Yeah, we're getting.
Hello, you are on the air.
You're on the air. Do you have the telephone thing on? Look for the telephone light. Make sure it says telephone. I think it's the fifth one over. Is it on and is up?
No, I picked up the call.
What?
I picked up the
Oh,
call.
you picked up the call.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
All right.
No, nothing.
Okay,
Ah,
so
Here it is.
is
Okay.
it okay?
Hello.
All right.
Yeah.
Hi, Andrew.
Oh, hello, Mike.
How
All
are
right.
you?
So, first of all, death penalty is kind of okay because sometimes criminals should deserve who do something wrong that hurts America.
Yeah, is that what you think, Andrew?
So, yeah, the court has to decide on whether or not they should give him a death penalty.
That's right, and that's how.
Or not.
Right, that's how it's decided.
Yeah, for example, like Troy Davis.
Mm-hmm.
He's innocent, but why they killed him?
Well, that's just one of the ways the death penalty has its faults.
Yeah, that's why he has a problem. The question. Hey, all right. All right,
Why do
and also, I think
countries
that
that don't have the death penalty have less crime? Like Singapore.
because whatever is severe is that people should deserve death penalty.
All right. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew.
Oh, thanks for calling.
Take
You're
care.
welcome.
All right. Thank you. Okay.
All righty.
All right, Katie. So, what else do we got? What else we want to?
So we
Discuss.
we could also discuss about prejudices against certain races or the poor, and how that affects.
We actually
The
are
death
getting another
penalty.
phone
We
call.
actually have another phone
Ooh.
call.
Here we go, and you are on the air.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hello. You're on WHIT. And you're off WHIT.
Drop
Okay,
that
go ahead.
call.
That's the problem with phone calls. You know.
Yeah.
You get very few of them that actually make sense.
Right.
So go ahead.
So many people can bring up that those who are impoverished or
Mm-hmm.
of a certain race
Right.
are more likely to get sentenced to the death penalty.
Right.
But statistically, 76% of white men and women have been executed, and about 15% black, 6% Hispanic, and 3% others. So
I hate to interrupt you there, but we are getting another phone call today. Very hot topic, so you are on the air.
What are your views on the mass incarceration regarding race?
Ooh. Well, if you break down the numbers, there really isn't much of a difference as far as incarceration between the races. A lot of the numbers get generalized, but there really isn't much of a difference.
Percentage-wise, there is.
But it depends on the crime, too.
Yeah. I mean, and it goes without saying, if you do not have enough money to get proper representation,
Right.
Yes.
your course, the course that your, claim, what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever, your verdict is probably going to be negative.
Right.
So if you're not properly represented, you have less of a chance of winning your case.
Right.
Those of wealth will be able to afford, the private investigators, the psychiatrists, the criminal
Yeah.
lawyers.
Right.
And that's
That's
And the majority of those folks are white.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how it breaks down,
Yeah.
But as far as that goes, that's privilege of the wealthy.
Yep.
And it's the perks of being wealthy, and there are many perks of being wealthy, but that's one of them.
Yeah. You still with us?
Hello.
Nope. All right,
Not
we
with
lost
us.
her, but we did answer. Okay. Right along.
Okay, so we have up here the race of victims in the death penalty: 70% are Hispanic, 14% are black, and 79% are white.
Well, yeah,
Over 79% of completed capital cases were white victims.
But you figure they're the majority.
Yeah, but not to that extent. Not to that extent. I did not think it would break down like that. I really didn't.
Oh.
I thought the Hispanic and black would be much bigger.
Nope.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so that's about it. Thank you for joining us today. I'm your host, Katie, and you're watching The Cake Show.
The Cake
All right.
Show. Thank you, Katie.
Take care.
All right. All right, nice job. Nice job, Katie.